JY's back in the building with some motivational gems to change your Ross Clark life. Let's get into it.
This young man wants to be a ranger, but he's afraid to go to ranger school. Not because how hard the training is, but because he's afraid if he fails, what people are going to say.
Don't be worried about failing, yeah? Be worried about when you're afraid to fail, yeah? Don't be worried about failing because of what that man's going to say. You know how much people are afraid to even attempt stuff? Most people who are mediocre that you know, that are not doing much with their lives, you know why? Because they've not even tried, fam. They've not even tried, blood. You know how many people in this world, like even in the taekwondo world, you have clubs of taekwondo students. So you have a taekwondo club. And let's say there's 10 people in the taekwondo club. 10 of them will go to watch a taekwondo competition. But only 3 of them out of the 10 people that go to this taekwondo competition, they actually go in the ring to fight. The other 7 bystanders, they will be standing on the outskirts, spectating this taekwondo competition, this bout that's going on. And they will be saying to themselves amongst themselves, he should have done that. He should have done this. He's not looking too good today at that. But none of these 7 people were willing. None of these 7 people had the courage to get in the ring and fight. But they got all the chat in the world. Trust me. Man, been there bare times. Yeah? I'm going to go up to fight and that. And I'm standing next to certain people who they're not planning on fighting that day. But I can hear them chatting saying, he should have done this. He should have done that. Blood, you haven't even entered the competition to fight. You just come to spectate. You've never been in the ring to fight. So who the hell are you to even talk on this thing, blood? So don't be worried about failing because of what that man's going to say. Blood, he's probably a mediocre person anyway. The reason why he's never failed is because he's never Ross Clark tried, my brother.
By judging them. One thing in life, this applies to everything in life. Anytime you move from being normal to trying to be exceptional, people aren't going to like that shit. Those normal people, it makes them feel like shit, so they're going to judge you.
If you are around and your social circle is full of mediocre people, if you try to elevate and you try to become something special, they won't like it. That classic analogy that man gives all the time. You got 3 men. One drives a BMW, one drives a Mercedes, one drives an Audi. They all earn 38, 40 grand a year. They all live in terrace houses and that. They're all cool with each other. Make one of them man there get a pay rise. Make him start earning 100 grand a year. Make him start driving a Jaguar F-Type R. Make him move area and buy a detached house, blood. And see the other 2 man. Blood, Jay's moving a bit funny nowadays, you know. Jay ain't got time for us. Jay thinks he's better than us and that. Nah, maybe Jay ain't got as much time because he's earning more money. Maybe Jay can't come and see you as often because he's living quay up the road now. When you start to elevate and that and you leave people behind, they're not going to like you for it. They will hate you. You don't have to do nothing. You can literally just start focusing more on yourself, making more money and that. People will hate you and resent you for it.
And nowadays, it's very easy to be a fucking coward. Why? We got Instagram and shit. Most folks don't tell you to your face. They go online. They post about like cowards. Don't let cowards get in your fucking head. And last thing, make sure you do you. Stay hard.
The day I quit, my boss, as I put my box on his desk and told him I was leaving to be a comedian, he talked me right out of it. He said, "Steve, you're not even funny." He said,
Anyway, carry on.
Never heard you say anything funny since you've worked here. I've been selling insurance for 2 years. He said, "Are you kidding me? You've got a family. You put that stuff back on your desk and I'll give you your job back. But don't you ever come in here again with something ridiculous. You're going to be a comedian."
We live.
How many times have I said in my videos, when you come up with a new idea or something that's outside of the norm, the first thing someone is going to say to you and the first thing they're going to do is shoot down your Ross Clark idea, fam. This is why, you know what, yeah? Man ain't really got time like that for friends, you know? Because, listen, let me tell you something. The reason why man love listening to these motivational videos and that It's not just because, oh, it's a little pepper up and that. And no. These motivational speakers, man, like Steve Harvey, Les Brown, David Goggins, people even like Andrew Tate and that. Anyone that does that motivational speaking and that, you know why I love listening to them? Because they speak the same languages, man. Let me tell you something, man, I ain't got no one around me who's really about that life, you know. Yeah, I know, man, that got properties and that, and yeah, they want to do well for themselves, but they ain't got that fire, they ain't got that drive. That's why, man, love listening to Andrew Tate, blood. You know what, man? He's serious. I ain't got no one around me that's really about life like that. I've got people around me, they want to do well for themselves and that, but it's just so they can look good and that. They ain't got that burning desire to become something. I've got man that phone me up and all they want to talk about is gal, blood. What am I getting from this situation here? What am I getting from this conversation here? This conversation cannot help me. All man I got to talk about is gal. That's what keeps niggas broke. You think if I ever knew fucking man like Andrew Tate, Steve Harvey, Les Brown, any of these motivational speakers, you think if I ever spoke to them on the phone, I was in contact with them, if I knew them, if I was friends with them, you think I'll be chatting to them about gal? You think they'll be phoning me up, talking to me about, go on to this gal, oh, this girl's got a big bum and that? No. Them man are talking about this plan, that plan, how are we going to make money, how are we going to put down things for our children and our children's children and that. This is why these peasants that live in council houses will forever live in council houses, because they got short-term goals. They ain't got no long-term plans, blood.
By the narrative
Piss me off, blood.
of other people. When I first called a recruiter to be a Navy SEAL and I was 297 pounds, the first recruiter looked at me and said, "You're not going to be able to make this, man." So what he was doing was he's projecting his energy on me. He knew he couldn't be a fucking Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
So God helped this black guy, because I was only the 36th African American to make it through in over 70 years. How's this black fat guy going to make it through in my ass? He wouldn't even want to try. So he's projecting it. So a lot of us who are negative people, all we do is project how we feel on other people.
I took all my back to my desk and put that back on my desk. Dude named Russell Middlebrooks came up to me and said, "Hey, Harv, I thought you was quitting today, man." I said, "Nah, I talked to Tom and he told me I wasn't funny." He said, "He don't know you." He said, "Dog, you the funniest dude I know." And then he looked at me, he was so hurt. He said, "Damn, dog, I told everybody you was leaving today." He said, "Man, I can't believe you letting that tell you what to do." And he swole me back up because I had been deflated. And I took that box right back in there. I said, "Tom, hey man, I'm really funny. I'm gonna make it." He said, "I'll tell you what, you leave out this door, don't ever come back in here again." So I tried to shake his hand. I said, "I'm not shaking your hand." I said, "You're making a huge mistake leaving your family out like this." He was right. I became homeless.
That's actually sad to hear, you know. It's sad to hear a man wanting to make something more of his life than just be an insurance salesman. And his boss said to him, "If you walk out this door, you can never come back again, you know."
6th grade now, 1968, I'm 10. I get up in front of the class, she said, "What did you write on your paper?" This is big. I said, "I want to be on TV." She said, "Why did you write that on your paper?" I said, "Because that was our assignment for today." She said, "And what made you think you could write such a thing on your paper?" She said, "Who do you know on TV?" I said, "Nobody." She said, "Anybody in the school ever been on TV?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "Anybody in your neighborhood ever been on TV?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "Well, what makes you think you can be on TV?" And
Let me tell you something. If no one from your household has done it before, if none of your friends have done it before, if none of your family members have done it before, it don't matter, you know. You could be the first, you know. Someone could have said something mad to me, even me. Someone could have said to me, "What makes you think you can write a book? Has anyone in your house wrote a book? Has any of your friends wrote a book? Has any of your family members wrote a book?" The answer would have been no. If someone had brought that to me, I would have said, "Bro, I don't give a fuck." I even had a friend of a friend in the gym. I can't remember what he's talking about, but he was talking about my YouTube channel, and I think he asked me, why am I making videos for my YouTube channel and that? And I said, oh, it's because I plan to write a book and that. So I think at the time I probably had like 1 or 2 chapters. So anyway, he said, do you know how long it takes to write a book? He said, some people take about 5 years to write a book. I've done it in way less than that. And I was fucking about with it. I'm talking about I ain't touched a book for 5 months at a time. So don't listen to people when they say, it's going to take this long, or this, no one's ever done it in the family. Blood, you can be the first person, fam. Most of these people who are millionaires, billionaires, and that, they are the first person in their family to accomplish what they've accomplished. So it just goes to show it don't matter about who's around you, and that if other people have done it before. Be the first. Be the first. And if other people in your family have done it, then you definitely can. Because you're from the same DNA as them. They ain't no more superior than you. No one is more superior than you on this planet anyway. No matter if they're fucking, really strong or really good looking or really tall and that. Don't matter. No one on this planet is more superior than you. The problem is you don't believe in yourself.
Crush. I said, I don't know, but that's what I want to do. She said, I'm going to call your house and I'm going to tell your mother that you're a smart aleck. So when I got home, she on the front porch. And she said, what did you do up at that school? I said, well, Mama, I just did what she asked me to do. She asked me what I wanted to be. I wrote I want to be on TV. She said, why did you write that on the paper? I said, because, Mama, that's what I want to be. She said, when your daddy get home, I'm going to tell him you've been up at the school being a smart aleck. He comes home.
They're chastising the youth like he's doing something bad. He said he just wants to be on TV. He wants to be famous. And he's getting into trouble because of that. Trust me, I've observed this as well. I know a little child who they used to love doing doing the splits and, doing flexible motions and that. And I've seen the child's parents say to the child, when the child's doing the splits or, some acrobat type of, get me some gymnast type of movement and that, stop showing off because the child is doing it in front of some of their parents' friends and that. Stop showing off. Stop showing off in front of people. No, embrace the fact that the fucking child has a skill. But when you're a loser, you see anyone with any skills or any talent as showing off because you have nothing yourself. You're a loser. You're a waste man. So these are his parents. His mom wanted to chastise him and get him in trouble. Also to get him in trouble for wanting to have big dreams. How fucking sad is that? This is why certain kids are set up to fail because they don't even have adults around them to push them and motivate them.
He said, boy, come in here. He said, what is this your mama telling me you did up at the school? And she's standing there. Tell him what you did. And I said, I wrote on a piece of paper, I want to be on TV. He said, what you do that for? I said, because that's what the teacher asked us, Daddy, what we want to be. She said, and you being up there being smart, he going to put a smart answer, he want to be on TV. My father looked at me and said, well, what's wrong with that? He said, boy, go in your rooms.
In the Far East, they have something that's called the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to grow. They have to water and fertilize the ground where it is every day. And it doesn't break through the ground until the 5th year. But once it breaks through the ground, within 5 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall. Now the question is, does it grow 90 feet tall in 5 weeks or 5 years? The answer is obvious. It grows 90 feet tall in 5 years. Because at any time, had that person stopped watering and nurturing and fertilizing that dream, that bamboo tree would have died in the ground.
Look at a man like Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. the GOAT. No one would have ever have known, watching his channel years ago, he would have became as famous and as popular and as blown up as he did. I remember seeing his channel years ago and just, you get me, whatever in a couple, whatever in it, just. If he thought like that, like, whatever, my channel's not going to blow, I'm never going to be anything. If he had stopped, he would have never became famous. If at any moment, back in the first couple of years of that, if he had decided, you know what, I'm only got 20,000 subscribers. I remember watching one of his videos. This is after he's blown up and that. I remember going back, watching some of his older live streams, and it was his quality of videos. Because obviously, if you go back through his timeline, you can see the quality of videos changing. But the same style and quality of videos just before he actually blew up, just before he made that video, average at best, or the live show where he said the woman was average at best. I remember around about that time period, just before he blew up, he was talking with someone. He said, "Yeah, I've only got 20 or 30,000 subscribers," and literally the following month, because I think it happened in December of 2020 or something like that. He said to the woman, "Oh, you average at best," and then he blew up. Imagine if at any time he thought to himself, "Oh, I only got 20,000 subscribers. Oh, my YouTube channel shit." He would have never became fucking famous. He would have never have featured in Future's fucking video. That's why you see with this YouTube channel, I've only got, as we speak right now, yeah, it's what 11:30. It's the 10th of November 2022. I've only got 850 subscribers. You never know. In a couple of years' time, man could be one of the most famous people in the UK, blood, because of my YouTube thing. But imagine if I decide to stop, that fame, that you get me, that it would never happen. I'll never blow up. So that's why man will never stop, blood. Don't get it twisted. I ain't gonna be doing this until I'm fucking 90 years old and that. But just because I've been on YouTube for 4 years and ain't got the results that I want, I ain't gonna give up. Nah, man, I ain't going down without a fucking fight. It's gonna take a lot more time for me to give up. Yeah? So I'm gonna keep fighting, I'm gonna keep pushing, man.
And I can see people coming out talking to a guy out there watering and fertilizing the ground that's not showing anything. Hey, what you doing? You've been out here a long time, man. And the conversation in the neighborhood is, you growing a Chinese bamboo tree, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see ain't nothing showing. You know that's how people are gonna do you? So how long you been working on this? How long have you been working on your dreams? And you have nothing to show. This is all you got to show. People are gonna do that to you. And some people, ladies and gentlemen, they stop. Because they don't see instant results. It doesn't happen quickly. They stop. Oh, no. You got to keep on watering your dream.
Trust me.
And when it began to happen, they stopped laughing. They said, look. Whoa, look here. Look out. Hey, man, you know, I know you can do it. Look here, you got a job here?
I guarantee you, yeah, at the moment I'm not big. And there's people, they probably think, Jay's chatting shit or whatever. Yeah, fuck his YouTube channel, certain family members and that. But I guarantee you, if man become big and famous and popular and I'm fucking on the TV, giving all these interviews and that, there's family members that will try to claim, man, you know. They will really be like, yeah, that's my cousin. No, fuck you, blood. I weren't your cousin when my YouTube channel was shit in your opinion, blood, was I? This is the thing, yeah. When you're not producing and that, people don't want to know you. But as soon as you start producing that, people start bragging. Yeah, I know this guy. I went to school with him, you know. Fuck off, man.
See, during those hard times, we didn't know how you're going to make payroll. During those times when you failed and things didn't work out, they were nowhere to be found. You know what I discovered? When you're working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
Next video.
My kickboxing coach used to say to me, I used to come in the gym, he'd say, what do you hate the most? And I said, I hate running. I said, okay, you're going running. I say, why? He goes, because whatever you hate is what you need. And that's what life's about. You're not going to be able to go through life avoiding pain and also becoming a man of quality.
I've said it countless times. You got to do things that you don't like to do. Life is not always going to be comfortable, you know. You're setting yourself up, you're preparing yourself for when you do have to do things that you don't like, nothing. You know what, yeah, when I watched, because obviously I watched this before, innit? I was like, fuck, you know, it's like almost like I'm listening to myself. This is why I said earlier. This is why man love listening to motivational speakers, because they speak the same fucking language as man. I fucking hate running, blood. I went running this morning. I'm going to go running the day after tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to running, you know. But you know what, bruv, you got to do things that you don't like, fam. It's a part of life. This is why people don't get nowhere in it, because they don't understand that you're gonna be obligated to do things that you don't like. They're gonna make you feel uncomfortable. But you know what? Life is not full of life is not just flat line or comfortable, and that life is very uncomfortable at times. There's a lot of hills and a lot of valleys in that. This is why people was panicking during the COVID lockdown and that. They don't understand it, that sometimes there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times and that. You just got to work through and embrace the bad times and the hard times and that and come out on the other side. Don't let it break you, man. But yeah, when I heard him talking about his gym coach said, you're going to go running. And he said, why? Is it because you have to do things you don't like or something like that? I was like, yeah, fucking hell, man. That sounds just like, man.
You're going to have to be that guy who's been through so much shit that you can wake up and go, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing compared to back then. This ain't nothing compared to that time. You know, and if you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to always suffer the consequences of not being that guy. There's pain to become important, and there's pain in not being important. We live in a comfortable world.
So he said there's pain to become important, and there's pain in not becoming important. If you do not make no sacrifice now, you will suffer in your elderly age. I always make them fucking videos, blood, about the old people freezing in the winter because they can't afford to heat their homes and that, because they're too broke, because they're fucking peasants, blood. Do you know why? Because in their youth, in their younger days, they never made no sacrifice. So therefore, you're going to suffer in the future. Let me tell you something. If you as a young person watching this right now, I can guarantee you, if you do not make no sacrifice in your young age, in your youth, you will suffer as an elderly person. Do you think these people who are moaning, these elderly people that are moaning about their gas prices being too expensive and that, do you think they made sacrifice when they were younger and they've got 10 properties? Tell me someone that you know that's got 5 to 10 properties or even more that's worried about the fucking gas price right now. That's sitting in a home that's freezing. It's not fucking possible. Do you know why? Because they made sacrifice. They put things in place to make sure that when they're elderly and that, they don't even know they're doing this. So it's a subconscious thing. To make sure when they're elderly, they ain't got no worries, blood. Or at least sitting in a freezing home is going to be the least of their worries. I meet tenants talking about I ain't had the gas on in 7 months. I turn my gas on every fucking day. Right, when I leave my yard, I turn it off. But I turn my gas on every day. I'm heating up a 3-bed house and I'm here on my jacks. Right, my girlfriend's part-time moved in, part-time living there and that. I'm here on my jacks, heating up a 3-bed house all on my own. Do you know why I'm in that position? Because I don't live outside my means and I'm not even an elderly person and that. That's why I don't feel no remorse with these elderly people. Because at some point in their life, they could have made sacrifice to that, but they decided, you know what, let me just coast along through life. Let me just work out Asda, or I have a decent, okay job, but I don't feel like I need to be making these sacrifices. I don't feel like I need to buy properties and I don't feel like I need to put money away. I'd rather go on holiday. I'd rather lease a new car. I'd rather wear Balmain or Gucci or whatever the equivalent was way back in the day in the 60s and 70s and that. Moschino or something, Chanel or something. That was more of a priority for them than fucking making sacrifice and that. so they don't have to worry about freezing in the fucking winter. I was at some group meeting with some people, and they're talking about they want to open up the library. I don't know if it's in the whole country or just in this Northampton place, but they want to open up the library after hours for extended hours so that people have somewhere to keep warm. Is this fucking World War I or something? Like, are we back in the 40s or something? This is madness, blood. All because people have not made no sacrifice. All because the British mentality is, oh, I work a 9 to 5, I work 40 hours a week, so therefore I'm entitled to 3 holidays a year. Man, fuck off, man, about 3 holidays a year, doing the bare minimum, blood. See, our problem is we're doing the bare minimum, but we think we're working at maximum capacity. No, we're fucking not, blood.
Now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter, but you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter, and I'm going to tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul, and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me.
Jeez!
More than sloth and laziness.
Oh my God. Obviously, I don't believe in God. So whenever I hear people talking about God, I just remove the word God, and I just understand that there's something inside of them talking to themselves. Because like I said, I don't believe in God in it. So when people say, oh, God is proud of me, and that, really and truly, I believe that they're just saying they're proud of themselves or whatever. I had some idiot come to my house one time years ago talking about, this person works in they have a business degree, and I don't know, they do something, they're business analysts. There was a business analyst, and they were working for Holmes Haringey, and they won about 30 grand a year, and they got offered a job. They went for the interview for another business analyst job, exactly the same job role somewhere else that was going to pay them about 70 grand a year, and they turned it down. Do you know why they said they turned it down? Because God told them that they weren't ready. No, they was fucking too much of a coward. They felt like they weren't good enough to get paid 70 grand a year. But I guarantee you, if that exact same job role came up, they went for the exact same job position, but it was only paying 35 grand a year, they would have went for it. They saw that big figure of 70 grand a year, which ain't that much, and they thought, you know what? I don't think I'm good enough for this. When they said God felt like it wasn't their time and that's just themselves. It's just a projection of themselves. It was not God, because I don't believe in God. There was no God telling them that they weren't good enough. They said to themselves they weren't good enough. So when I see God in that, it's just almost like a projection or a manifestation of one's self-thoughts and that. But a man said, fucking, he's the best version of himself. Let me pull that back, man. Gems.
You know, and if you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to always suffer the consequences of not being that guy. There's pain to become important, and there's pain in not being important. We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter, and I'm going to tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul, and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates.
I am the best version of myself that could possibly exist. I can't say that right now. In my heart of hearts, I'm only running at about 80%, which is good. So there's room for improvement. The problem is when you ain't really up there, but you think like you're at 100%. There's so many idiots walking around on this planet that feel like they're the best version of themselves. They feel like they're running at 100%. But really, you're only at 10, my brother. Yeah? You think you're running at 100% or even close to it because you wear Balmain, because you got a new car and that, because you're good looking. Nah, fam, you're deluded, bro. But this is why those people there will be suffering when they're older. Those people there will be working right throughout their fucking pension age. Me, the way I'm going, I can retire by the age of 40 easily.
It's more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become. All these men are out here complaining that things are difficult. The reason it has value is because it's difficult. If it was easy, everyone would have it and it wouldn't have any value. The fact that it's hard to do is the reason it has a value in the first place. How are you going to complain that it's hard to be the man, but then also understand that being the man has value? They are linked. You cannot separate the two. It's a logic fail. If you love the fact if you love the idea of being that character you dream of yourself to be, then you should love the fact it's hard to become that man, because it means no one else can do it. This is what I love. I love everything about my life. I know the shit I've been through to become who I am, and I wouldn't trade a second of it.
There's a whole generation of men who have been raised without being prepared for war, because that's what life is. It's a war for resource, it's a war for females, it's a war for attention, it's a war for domination. It's war. And as a man, you have to establish yourself in a hierarchy of men. There is a global hierarchy of men. And there are men out there right now who are born with every genetic advantage, and they're 7'2" NBA players made of muscle. And that's life. And there's men out there who are 5'5" and they're not. But that doesn't make a difference. You still have to find a way to fight and compete.
If you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. This is how life works, right? If you even, let's take cars. You're driving at 200 miles an hour. You don't feel it. It's accelerating to 200 miles an hour that you feel. You don't feel once you're doing the speed. You feel the acceleration. It's the acceleration that's exciting. You need to feel the change in your life to benefit from it.
Most of the time, you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do.
But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. That's what honor and duty means. Do you think the men on the Titanic wanted to stay on the fucking Titanic? No, we're men. We have to stay. We're scared, but we must. It's our duty. It's on the other side of fear that you're going to garner the respect of other individuals. You have to do things that they're afraid to do, meaning most likely you are also afraid. I've done a bunch of shit I was afraid. I was afraid 87 times before I got in the ring and cage. It's scary. I lived a scary life. But by going through all of that, I am now respected. You have to learn to face your fear. I'm not saying not be afraid, because that's not brave. If you do something and you're not afraid, you're not brave. You have to be afraid and do it anyway. That's what courage is. So I'm not saying you can be as scared as you want, but you still have to go. You're not going to have a big life that's a calm ocean. You need to learn to just surf the waves and laugh, because most people just collapse under the pressure. Stress tolerance is a massive indicator of how successful you're going to be. When you're young, go out there and get stressed, get upset, have those sleepless nights. You should, at 17, 18, you should be panicking. And that's going to give you a stress tolerance level that allows you to grow into an adult which can handle a big life. The only thing you can actually really truly control is what you think. So why are you not controlling your own mind? It's your asset. It's your ally. It's your friend. Why would you make an enemy out of the only thing you have control over? I refuse to do that. It doesn't make sense to me. You don't even need to be brave enough to become brave by yourself. You need to be around men who are already brave. Everyone else around you, when you say you feel a certain way, if they don't check you, then why are you hanging around with them? When men get together, there's a magical force that makes us feel brave, makes us feel powerful. So when I talk to these dudes like, oh, but it's, you know what, Tate, yeah, I agree, but you know, it's hard. Of course it is, it's supposed to be. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist, fade into history unremembered, that's your decision. Names a single attribute for masculinity which is going to come from a place other than trauma or pain. I talk about this all the time. People say I've had a traumatic life. I say, well, then you're very, very fortunate. You had a traumatic life. Now, you may have misused that trauma. You may have misplaced it. You may have accepted the matrix telling you that you now have an excuse to fail, as opposed to using it to grow. But every single man of value went through trauma, and they went through pain. It's going to be painful to get strong, painful to get rich, painful to become important. It's going to be painful to become good with women. Your heart's going to get broken a bunch of times. You have to be prepared for the pain. If you're not ready for pain, you're never going to be anything that matters. This is down to you, my friend. And listen, you may feel fired up for 10 minutes after this little talk, but you're not going to feel fired up forever. You need to put systems in place. You need to get discipline. You need to get an atmosphere of people around you who are going to keep you accountable and not make it easy for you to continue to be a fucking nobody. And then you're going to fix your life. Otherwise, you're going to stay a nobody. That's your problem. It ain't my problem.
All right. So, yeah, that's basically it. Video done now. Motivational videos are all well and good. I love listening to them, and that, you know what? They don't last forever. Yeah, it's all well and good being motivated for the next couple of days and that, but that will fade away. You have to be disciplined. You have to put yourself. You have to like I said earlier with the running thing. That's all discipline. Discipline is basically doing things that you don't want to do and still sticking to them. I get up every morning, like I said, every morning I have to go running, and I get up and I think I don't want to do this, but you know what? I get it. I get on with it. I never look forward to running. You know. Only I might get a new pair of running trainers. Like, yeah, we gotta test out the kicks them. 5 minutes into the run, I'm like, I just want to turn back and go home. I hate running. My neighbors, the way they see me running past all the time, they must think this guy loves running. No, I can't stand it. But you know what? I'm a fucking man. And you know what? Like I said, there's so many people out here who get me, they're in a position where they don't even have a healthy body. Like I said before, I know a man, he's going to get his leg amputated very soon. He would love the opportunity to be able to go running. A man can't even go up and down the stairs and that. All these things we take for granted. So you know what? I'm going to do the things that the people them would love to be in my position, they can't. Because I'm telling you, if someone's going to amputate your leg or you're wheelchair bound, the way that would fucking fuck with your life, boy, the way it would change your life is going to be... Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay wise. Done.